Hi, it's Patty from PS Paper Crafts, and I'm going to show you how to make this beautiful kind of rustic looking card. It's a thank you card. You could change up the sentiment if you want. I'm using the hand-drawn blooms, and I actually stamped it on crumb cake paper, and then I colored it using the watercolor pencils. So there's two sets of watercolor pencils from Stampin' Up. One is This is an old one. This is, I think, assortment one. It's the same colors as what's in the catalog. It's just an older version of the box. And then there's the assortment number 2. So this one was made with assortment number 1. So some of these colors. And I'll make the next one with the assortment number 2. So let's get started. I love this stamp set. It does come with a coordinating die. And let me just get that out for you. This is the die, and it has some flowers that coordinate with this. It cuts out a whole different piece, but if you wanted to add some more leaves, if you wanted to maybe stamp some flowers and put them on top of this, and it has the banner, this covers what the banners would be. I did not use these sentiments on this card. I use more of the straight one, but I think on the inside I'm going to have so grateful to have a friend like you. So we will be using that. So let's get started. The first thing I want to do is get my card pieces out. I already cut them. So I'm using Crumb Cake, Very Vanilla, and Merry Merlot. This is a great Christmas color. I love it. So the first thing we'll do is just get out our crumb cake piece, and I have the big stamp, and this stamp comes in 2 pieces, so it has the bouquet and then a separate piece for the bow, which I am going to stamp. It's underneath here, but it just looks like it's another of that Merry Merlot color in there, so didn't bother me. So let's get our Merry Merlot ink here. And we'll start off by just inking this up, and since this is a big stamp, I like to ink it up this way. And I'll put it toward the top, and I'll have all my dimensions and everything on my blog, pspapercrafts.com. So I want to make sure I have room at the bottom for the sentiment, and it will cover the branches a little bit, but not much, so didn't bother me. Now this one I'll ink up this way, and it's a little bit hard to line up, but I'm going to use the outline of the shape to kind of figure it out. Looks pretty good. I'm happy with it. And then let's close this up. We'll use this later for the sentiment and the inside. But let's get coloring. So all I did with the other set is I just kind of dumped out the colors. It has them all listed here, and they have the tops with the colors on them, and then there you also have the names. And I'm just going to kind of pick them out, and I'll probably speed some of this up because it's a lot of coloring. So I'm going to color them, and then I'm going to use my blending pens. These are just there's a brush on either end. You get 3 in a pack, and it's clear. And it just blends. You can use it with ink if you dip it in your ink pad, or you could use a clear block, put it on your ink pad, and pick up color that way. Or it helps to kind of blend colored pencils, which is what we're going to do today. So let's get coloring. I'll color everything. I'll probably, stop it, tell you what color I'm doing, speed it up, slow it down. We'll kind of go back and forth. So the first thing I want to do, I think, is and it's funny because when you look at it, it doesn't look like this is crushed curry. It looks like a brown, but it really is a yellow. So I'll first do these flowers with the crushed curry. And it's a little bit dark, but I think it's a good fall color. So we'll just color these in. And there's 3 of them here. And then I'm going to do the tops in the Cajun Craze color. And you could do whatever colors you want. And you can color light or dark to give it a lighter or darker look. I think I'm going to do Gorgeous Grape. There's a couple of these flowers, and I won't be doing it too too dark. And you don't have to really even fill it in, because once you start blending it, it kind of takes the lines out and fills it in, because it's kind of like a these are watercolor pencils, and the blender, keep calling them blender pens. I think that's what they're called. Yeah, blender pens. These are just kind of water, and it just lets you move the color around. So it's pretty cool. And again, you get 3 of them in a pack, so it's nice. And let's do some kind of blue. Let's see. I have Balmy Blue, looks very dark, and Night of Navy. I think I'm going to go with the Night of Navy, and I'm not going to go too dark. I love Night of Navy. It's one of my favorite colors. It's one of the originals, I think. And we'll just color this in. I've actually been using Stampin' Up! Products since the late 90s, but I was working and raising my family, so I didn't really get a chance to do much. I would go to classes, I had to buy everything, and then it would sit in a shelf. So when I retired, I joined, well, first I started using them more and more, and then I decided to join and get the discount. And I did that for a while, and then I decided to do this as a business because I had time on my hands. So let's see, I think I'll do some of these little things in Granny Apple Green, just to give them a little pop here. It's kind of these little Queen Anne's lace look. The other box does have white, which I liked, but I wanted to stick with one box of colors so you could see all the colors in it. There's quite a bit more of these blue. And I'm wondering if I should do some other colors with these flowers. There's these kind of little bushy things. What is this? Flirty Flamingo. I think maybe I'll do these in Flirty Flamingo. You'll end up seeing that you missed some here and there, but I think that's okay. Let's do this in the Cherry Cobbler. So there's kind of these little kind of bushy looking flowers. Let's see if there's any more of these. So I'll probably go back and redo some. I'll do the leaves in this green, garden green. That's a great color. And these I'm just going to kind of draw a line. They're very narrow. And again, if you go out of the lines, or if you don't fill it in completely, once you blend, it'll all come together. I think I got all the leaves, but I see I missed some flowers. I think I'm going to do a little bit more of the blue. There's some flowers here. And as you go, you'll see, oh, I missed this one, I missed that one, and you just go back and fill it in. Not a problem. And you could actually, instead of coloring all of these, you could just highlight a few of them. So you could stamp some of these others, and these have dies, if you had the dies, so you could stamp them, cut them out, and then lay them on top and just have those kind of as a highlight instead of coloring everything. But I like the coloring everything, so I like to color, so right up my alley. Let's get our blending going. So when you use a blender pen and it looks like it's dyed, but it's really clear, you just want to make sure when you start that there's no color on it. And I will start with my lighter colors first. It doesn't really matter because you are going to clean it off, and I'm just touching it a little bit. And this Mary Merlot ink that I stamped with will kind of run a little bit, so you don't want to spend too much time on all of them. So it will kind of smear a little bit, but I think it just adds to the look, so that does not bother me. It's because they're all water-based. So we're done with the pink. So I'm just going to make sure the pink is off, and let's do the yellow. And see, I'm just very quickly just kind of scribbling in a way. So see, the yellow is coming off here. Let's do this little red here, the cherry cobbler. Get that off. I'm going to do this little bit of granny apple green. I think that's a nice little bright color here, and I'm just really dotting them. And if you see you missed something, like I missed some leaves here, you just fill it in. And I really don't think anybody would notice it. And let's get the blue going. I think you might be able to see it better with the blue. Some of the other flowers and leaves are so tiny it's hard to see, but can you see that it's blending it? And it is picking up color, so you're moving the color around and it's filling it in a little bit. It just kind of softens it up. I love coloring with the blends. I haven't done it in really a long time, so I was thinking about how to color these flowers, and I figured I would try the colored pencils. Okay, that looks good. So what do we have left? The purple and then the leaves. And I will definitely speed it up on the leaves because there's quite a few of them. And those I will just kind of dab. So I'll just kind of like, just dab it. I may have missed some. I'm not worried about it. So I'll just make sure all of that is off. Let's put this to the side. And now I want to just stamp my sentiments. So I've already cut this out. I used the Tasteful Label dies. So I use this die in here. You can just use a strip of cardstock, very vanilla, which matches this, which kind of coordinates with the ribbon. So I like to be all matchy-matchy here. So if you don't have that die, or if you have another die, whatever you have, that works. So I will do this with the Merry Merlot ink, which I am looking for. There it is. And we could just ink this up and kind of get this straight. Now this is one of the red rubber, so you can't really see it. So you have to kind of wing it. I think it looks good. And then on the inside, I didn't put a sentiment, but as I said before, I will be putting a sentiment on the inside of this. So let's do that one first. And let's make sure, so thankful, so grateful. So I'm going to ink this up, and it's kind of like a wavy one, which sometimes makes it easier. So if it's a little crooked, nobody knows. And then I'll do these, and these I really had a hard time with. I did them upside down at first. They go this way, right? I stamped them on the inside this way. But luckily we can flip our card over. You have two sides, so I'll just put 3 down here. And then I'll put 1 up here. And you could put 3 and 3, 1 and 1. You don't have to put them on at all. Whatever you want to do. And then I will color these in the crushed curry. So let me make sure, this is the Cajun Craze. Here it is. See, they almost look brown, but it colors yellow, so it's okay. And I'll just color these in quickly. And again, I'm not being too careful with how I color them. And we'll get this guy up here. I'm trying to remember what these flowers are. I had them in New York and they were pink. And I can't think of the name of them. It will come to me. You could leave me a comment with it so I don't have to search it. And we'll do these 3. And then let's get our blender pen. Make sure it's clean. We'll do our lighter color first. And see, it is picking up a little bit of the Merry Merlot, but I think that gives it a nice kind of fall color. So it's not such a bright yellow. It's got a little bit of, it looks like orange, but it's a red, but it's just blending it. And we'll do all of these. And then I'm not even going to clean it to go into the crushed curry because it's a darker color and it won't matter. So now I want to just clean this off. I always like to clean it off so the next time I use it, I don't have to worry if I didn't clean it off. So let's put our card together. We have everything stamped and ready to go. I wanted to back this with just a little bit, so here's the difference. Kind of blends in, blah, a little bit, and then you just put a little bit of a brighter border behind it and it just pops. So I like to do that. You can make the border bigger. This is just, I think, 1/8 of an inch bigger than the Berry Vanilla is about 1/8 of an inch bigger than the Crumb Cake. And I like that tight little border. And I'll be using the Stampin Seal. You could use whatever adhesive you want. I usually use the liquid glue, but I've been trying to use this more. I really love it. And I think the trick is to just do this. You have to kind of flick it to break it. I think that was my problem all along. So it wasn't breaking and it was not rolling forward. So I just want to make sure this is kind of even. Okay. And then we'll put this down. See how nice it goes on? And there's the Stampin Seal, and then there's the new Stampin Seal Plus, which has little, it's almost like little pieces that already break. But the good thing with the Plus is you can use it, it's very sticky, so you can use it for boxes and bags and 3D kinds of things. So let's put this on the inside. Usually on the inside, I only put 2 strips. I don't know why, but that's how I do it. And I think that's really pretty, those flowers. So this one is for a specific person, a friend, and then the other thank you can be just blank for, you know, it's not as specific. So let's put some dimensionals on this. So I want to make sure, since this is narrow, that the flat top and bottom are at the top and bottom here. Those points will probably show over. So, or you can cut them, or you could use the strip like I used here. You can use the bottom strip. But for this card, I just figured this works great. We'll just take the backs off, and then we have to add some ribbon. And I added some Champagne Rhinestones. I thought they would be pretty, not the white, you know, regular rhinestones. So I thought that was kind of fall. I mean, this kind of card is right up my alley. I love the fall colors. I love the crumb cake. So this ribbon is the Forever Greenery. So I made this card yesterday. Let me get it. This is what I made yesterday. I used the Comfort and Hope stamp set, which has this great background little stamp that you can just mush together. But anyway, my point being today, I used this and I was going to use it on this card, and I was like, oh, do I want to use it 2 days in a row? I overthink everything. So I ended up using this because I thought it really matched this background and kind of brightened it up. And this is from the Forever Greenery trim combo pack. So it gives you this kind of gold, kind of like a thread. And then this, it's a very soft, it almost reminds me of cheesecloth. And so I'll just tie my bow with this. But I was back and forth, you know, I overthink everything, I have to say. I made 2 bows, I had them laid out, I put them on the card, off the card, changed them up. And then I said, well, if I'm going to do this very vanilla background on this card, let's go with the lighter ribbon. I think either ribbon will work. I love this ribbon. It's the embroidered one, and it's just very natural. I like a natural looking card, like a rustic card. And I mean, I like to do bright things sometimes, but my go-to is more natural. And everybody has their own taste, so you do what you like. And you can do the same project with different colors and get like a whole different look. So let's get a glue dot. See, so this bow, you could just leave this like this. You don't need to add another bow. I think it's very pretty. But this covers it. Nobody even knows it's under there. And I like this bow better. So I'm going with it, but you do what you like. So there we go. And then of course we have to put some of these Champagne Rhinestones. I think these are really pretty. And let me get my tool here. And what I did was I just put them in the centers of the flowers. I almost wish there were smaller ones. These are okay. You know, they work. I just sometimes wish we had a smaller version of some of these. Maybe I'll write in a suggestion. Oops, come on. Get through the whole card, and then I struggle with my rhinestones. I think I'll put one more on. That one little, kind of little blue flower. Come on. Okay, so these are the cards. One has the sentiment, and then one does not. I hope you enjoyed this. We're in October, so we're almost done with the Designer Series paper sale. So if you wanted any Designer Series paper, you need to order it before the end of the month or by October 31st. It's a set or limited selection of the Designer Series papers you can get, and it's on my blog. If you just go to my online store, it will have a section for what's on sale, and you save 15%, so it's really a good deal. But anyway, thanks for joining, and come back again. Have a good one. Bye.